Welcome to our channel. Today, we're delving into a dark chapter of history, exploring the cruelty inflicted by Japanese forces upon the Chinese during past wars. From brutal treatment of men, women, and children to egregious war crimes, the scars of these atrocities continue to haunt the collective memory of both nations. To understand the depth of these atrocities, we must first delve into the historical context. During the early 20th century, Japan embarked on a campaign of expansionism, seeking to establish dominance in the Asia-Pacific region. In pursuit of their imperial ambitions, Japanese forces invaded China, leading to a series of conflicts that left a trail of devastation in their wake. The treatment of Chinese civilians by Japanese soldiers during these wars was nothing short of barbaric. Men, women, and children alike were subjected to unspeakable acts of violence, including mass killings, torture, and sexual assault. The infamous Rape of Nanjing stands as a stark reminder of the horrors endured by the Chinese population at the hands of Japanese invaders. Japanese prisoner of war camps were notorious for their deplorable conditions and inhumane treatment of inmates. Chinese soldiers and civilians captured by Japanese forces faced starvation, forced labor, and rampant abuse. Many were subjected to medical experiments and biological warfare, leaving behind a legacy of suffering that continues to reverberate to this day. Perhaps one of the most heinous aspects of Japanese cruelty towards the Chinese was the establishment of the comfort women system. Under this system, thousands of Chinese women and girls were forcibly abducted or lured into sexual slavery to serve Japanese soldiers. These women endured unimaginable suffering, enduring physical and psychological trauma that scarred them for life. The legacy of Japanese atrocities against the Chinese continues to shape relations between the two nations to this day. While Japan has made some efforts to acknowledge and apologize for these crimes, many in China feel that these gestures fall short of true accountability. For the victims and their descendants, the quest for justice and remembrance remains an ongoing struggle. As we reflect on this dark chapter of history, let us not forget the countless lives that were lost and the untold suffering endured by the Chinese people. It is only by confronting the past with honesty and compassion that we can hope to build a better future. War crimes tribunals were convened shortly after Japan's surrender, with the primary officers responsible for the Nanjing Massacre facing trial. General Matsui faced indictment before the International Military Tribunal for the Far East for neglecting his duty to prevent breaches of the Hague Convention. However, other Japanese military leaders, including Prince Kan-in Kotohito and Prince Asaka, escaped trial due to various reasons, including death or immunity. The tribunal was held at the Ichigaya Court in Tokyo, where Matsui and other officers were tried. Prince Asaka, despite being interrogated about his involvement in the Nanjing Massacre, denied any wrongdoing. Evidence presented during the trial included testimonies from witnesses like Dr. Robert O. Wilson and intercepted telegrams detailing the atrocities. Matsui defended himself by claiming he never ordered executions and shifted blame to lower-ranking commanders. However, he was convicted for failing to prevent the orgy of crime at Nanjing. The tribunal sentenced Matsui and others, including Prime Minister Koki Hirota, to death by hanging for their roles in the atrocities. Despite public petitions, the sentences were carried out on December 23, 1948. On August 15, 1995, marking the 50th anniversary of Japan's surrender, Prime Minister Tomichi Murayama delivered the first formal apology for Japan's actions during the war. He extended his apology to all survivors and the families of victims, expressing condolences for the suffering caused. On the same day, both the Prime Minister and Emperor Akihito of Japan offered statements of mourning at Tokyo's Nippon Budokan. However, some critics, including Iris Chang, author of The Rape of Nanjing, noted that Murayama did not issue the written apology expected by many. Chang emphasized the importance of a clear and sincere apology from Japan to China, suggesting that such a gesture would resonate more profoundly with the international community. The legacy of Japanese atrocities against the Chinese continues to shape relations between the two nations to this day. While Japan has made some efforts to acknowledge and apologize for these crimes, many in China feel that these gestures fall short of true accountability. For the victims and their descendants, the quest for justice and remembrance remains an ongoing struggle. As we reflect on this dark chapter of history, let us not forget the countless lives that were lost and the untold suffering endured by the Chinese people. It is only by confronting the past with honesty and compassion that we can hope to build a better future. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history.